Many of us find ourselves waiting for something big, something meaningful to happen in our lives. Whether it's a new opportunity, a breakthrough in our careers, or a change in our personal circumstances, we all desire that moment when everything aligns. But here's a critical point. When that moment does come, are we truly prepared for it? You see, transformation doesn't happen by chance. It's not a simple stroke of luck. There's a timing to everything, and it is within this timing that a powerful shift is about to unfold. It's when you least expect it, when things may feel uncertain, and when you're questioning if things will ever change. But there is a sign, a shift that says, everything you've worked for, everything you've believed in, is about to fall into place. It's the signal that the tide is about to turn in your favor. This shift isn't just random. It's a culmination of your persistence, your trust in the journey, and your willingness to act when the time is right. The universe, God, fate, however you see it, works with perfect timing. It knows when you're ready, even if you feel unprepared. All the setbacks you've faced, they weren't in vain. They were preparing you for the success that is to come. But here's where we need to focus. It's not enough to wait for the shift. We must be active participants in that shift. When it comes, are you ready to step into that moment? Are you ready to trust that the preparation has been enough and the change is yours for the taking? Sometimes we wait for that sign, that indication that everything is about to change. But the truth is, the sign has been there all along. It's in your resilience, your vision, your unwavering belief that what lies ahead is better than what's behind. The universe is always preparing us for what's next. Trust the process. You've done the hard work. Now it's time to embrace the shift. The sign is here. It's your moment to rise. Life is a journey of constant change and evolution. We all experience moments where we feel stuck, uncertain, or even disheartened, thinking that we've hit a roadblock or that success is just out of reach. Yet, it's important to understand that significant transformations often come at unexpected moments. These moments of change are not always obvious, nor do they necessarily come with a warning. The key to navigating through these transformations lies in embracing the concept of divine timing. This is the idea that events and opportunities unfold at precisely the right moment, even if it doesn't seem that way to us at the time. The key question we need to ask ourselves is, are we truly prepared for when that change arrives? The concept of divine timing is not just about waiting for something to happen. It's about being ready to act when the opportunity presents itself. It's easy to get frustrated when things aren't moving fast enough. But the truth is that the universe, or whatever you believe in, has its own pace. This pace often doesn't align with our own desires or timelines. While we might feel like we've done everything we can to move forward, it's important to remember that transformation doesn't work on our schedule. It happens when we are ready, when we've put in the effort, learned the lessons, and developed the patience needed to handle what's coming next. One of the most challenging aspects of this is that divine timing often requires us to trust when we cannot see the entire picture. When we can't predict what's around the corner, we are forced to lean into faith and patience. But this isn't a passive waiting game. It's an active preparation. We need to constantly be honing our skills, refining our mindset, and making sure that, even when we don't know exactly what the future holds, we are positioning ourselves to take advantage of the opportunities when they finally present themselves. We often don't realize it, but every step we take, every lesson we learn, and every challenge we overcome is part of preparing us for the moment when everything will align. The idea of being prepared for the right moment is crucial. It's like planting seeds in a garden. You may water them every day, you may nurture them, but you can't force them to bloom faster. All you can do is continue to tend to them, trust the process, and wait for the right conditions for them to thrive. Life works similarly. It's easy to grow frustrated during periods of waiting, especially when we see others seemingly moving forward faster than we are. But remember, the conditions in which we thrive may not yet be ripe, and that's okay. It's not a reflection of your worth or effort. It's just the natural pace of growth. Additionally, when we embrace the concept of divine timing, we begin to understand that setbacks and failures are not obstacles. Instead, they are lessons, building blocks, and necessary detours that prepare us for the greater success waiting ahead. Every difficulty you face, every time you stumble or fall, is teaching you something about resilience, patience, and perseverance. You're becoming stronger, more capable, and better prepared for the next big thing that's going to shift everything in your favor. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't moving the way we expect them to, but if we shift our perspective and view these challenges as preparation, they become an essential part of the process. The key takeaway here is that nothing in life happens by chance. Every moment, every event, and every experience has a purpose. You may not understand it right now, and that's completely normal. But the more we embrace this idea that everything is unfolding in perfect timing, the more we begin to see that even the tough times were part of the preparation. When the time comes for everything to align, we will not only be ready, we will be stronger, wiser, and more capable than we ever imagined. This shift doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's a gradual process, an unfolding of events that build upon each other. If we keep putting in the work, staying true to our path, and trusting that the universe will send us exactly what we need at the right moment, we can be assured that our time is coming. Just like a seed is nurtured into a plant, so too are we nurtured by every experience we go through. Trust in this process, keep moving forward. And when the time is right, the shift will happen. Be ready to embrace it when it does. Transformation often feels like it happens out of nowhere. But it's important to understand that everything we go through, the struggles, the triumphs, and even the moments of uncertainty, are all part of a larger plan. There is a sign that everything is about to shift in our favor, but it's easy to overlook it if we aren't paying attention. We often expect change to happen immediately, or we expect to be able to control when and how it comes. But that's not how true transformation works. There is a deeper force at play, one that has a perfect sense of timing. This force, whatever it may be, understands the right moments for change, and it knows when we are truly ready to step into the next phase of our lives. This sign that everything is about to change isn't always visible at first, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening, even when we're putting in our best efforts. It's in these moments of quiet waiting that we must remember that we are being prepared for something greater. Often, the biggest transformations happen when we least expect them. The universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is not random in its design. It works in harmony with the universe, with the natural flow of time. We may not see this grand design immediately, but when we look back, we'll realize that the timing of everything, both the highs and lows, was perfectly orchestrated to lead us to where we need to be. The beauty of this process is that it's unfolding regardless of whether we see it. And when we look closely, we can begin to notice small signs that this shift is happening. These signs might appear as small opportunities, new connections, or a sudden clarity that gives us insight into the next step. They are often subtle but powerful signals that we are on the right path. When we trust the process, we begin to recognize that these signs are not coincidental. The changes happening in our lives are part of a greater design that has been carefully laid out for us. But the challenge is being open to these signs and not getting discouraged by setbacks or failures along the way. The moment of change, the shift we're waiting for, is not always dramatic, but it is transformative when it comes. This is where the importance of patience and trust comes into play. The more we learn to trust the timing of life, the more we realize that every step we take, no matter how small, is leading us toward this greater shift. And when the moment arrives, we will be ready, because we've been preparing for it all along, even when we didn't know it. It's in these quiet moments of trust and patience that the foundations are laid for the breakthroughs we long for. We may not see the full picture at the time, but every choice we make, every action we take, and every moment we keep our faith, we are making ourselves ready for what's to come. This shift is not just about waiting passively for something to happen. It's about being an active participant in the process of change. We must continue to work on ourselves, refining our skills, mindset, and resilience. There's a tendency to look at the end goal and think that once we get there, everything will be perfect. But the truth is, the shift we're waiting for isn't just about the destination. It's about the person we become along the way. As we grow and develop, we prepare ourselves to handle the opportunities and challenges that will come when the shift finally happens. When the time is right, the shift will occur and it will feel like everything aligns at once. But this moment is not an overnight transformation. It's the culmination of all the work, the patience, and the preparation we've put in, whether we realize it or not. The key is to stay open to the process and trust that every step, no matter how small, is leading us toward the change we seek. When the shift finally comes, we will not only be ready for it, we will have become the kind of person who is capable of thriving in that new reality. Recognizing this, we understand that the real work is in staying true to our journey, even when the signs aren't immediately clear. The sign that everything is about to shift in our favor is not always a flashy event or a dramatic moment. It's a subtle awareness, a sense of readiness, and an inner knowing that things are aligning as they should. When we trust that, we allow ourselves to fully embrace the opportunities that come our way, and when the moment of change finally arrives, we will be ready to step into the next chapter of our lives with confidence and purpose. One of the most powerful realizations we can have on our journey of transformation is that everything that has happened, every setback, every moment of doubt, every failure, and every victory has been preparing us for something bigger. Often, we think that the big changes in our lives are the result of random luck or sudden, unexpected moments of brilliance. But the truth is, these shifts are not as spontaneous as they seem. They are a culmination of everything we've gone through, all the lessons we've learned, and the preparation we've undergone. The key to recognizing when a transformation is about to occur is understanding that we've already been preparing for it. Even when we didn't realize it, we often view failure or struggle as a sign that we are off track, that we're doing something wrong, or that our dreams are unattainable. But in reality, failure and struggle are the groundwork for success. Every challenge we face is teaching us something: resilience, patience, perseverance, and the ability to adapt. These experiences shape who we are and prepare us for the moment when everything will shift in our favor. The important thing to remember is that these moments of difficulty are not a detour. They are part of the process. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't happening on our timeline, or when we feel like we're working hard without seeing immediate results. But in reality, every single thing that we've gone through has been creating the foundation for the moment when everything will align. The key is to embrace these challenges, learn from them, and trust that they are not in vain. There's also an underlying truth in the process of preparation that we must understand. Change doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't happen when we demand it. Transformation occurs gradually, with each step forward building upon the last. What we often forget is that preparation isn't just about acquiring new skills or gaining knowledge. It's about becoming the person who is capable of handling the opportunities when they come. We might feel ready for a shift, but until we've grown into the person who can fully embrace it, we may miss the moment. Sometimes, it's not the opportunities themselves that are the problem, it's our own readiness to step into them. The universe, or divine timing, knows when we are truly ready for change, and it will give us the right circumstances when we've become the person who can handle it. It's not about forcing things to happen or rushing the process. It's about becoming who we need to be in order to fully embrace the shift when it comes. This is why trust is such a critical component of transformation. We need to trust the process even when we don't see immediate results, even when things seem to be moving slowly or when it feels like we've hit a roadblock. Change is often slow and quiet at first, but it's always happening in the background. The most powerful shifts happen when we least expect them, but they are the product of everything we've worked on up until that point. We need to learn to trust that every step, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, is part of the larger plan. And when the shift does happen, we will look back and realize that everything, every failure, every moment of frustration, every quiet moment of self-doubt was preparing us for the exact moment of transformation. Another crucial part of this process is understanding that the timing of change is beyond our control. We may want things to happen now, or we may feel like we've been waiting forever for something to shift in our favor. But the universe has a perfect sense of timing that works in alignment with our growth. Sometimes we're not ready for the transformation we desire, and the timing just isn't right. This doesn't mean we aren't working hard enough or that our dreams aren't valid. It just means that the universe is aligning things in a way that will serve us best. It's crucial to understand that divine timing is not about waiting passively for something to happen. It's about actively preparing ourselves and trusting that when the moment is right, we will be ready. It's about staying focused, staying true to our purpose, and knowing that the universe has its own schedule. And that schedule is designed with our highest good in mind. When we embrace this understanding, we begin to shift our mindset. Instead of focusing on the lack of progress or the time that seems to be dragging on, we start to see every experience as a part of the preparation. We start to view setbacks not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. We start to understand that every step, even those that feel small or insignificant, is moving us closer to the moment when everything will change. We are not just waiting for a shift. We are actively participating in it through our daily actions, our mindset, and our ability to stay focused on the end goal. When the shift finally happens, we will recognize that it wasn't an isolated event. It was the result of everything we've done up until that point. We'll realize that we were always on the path to transformation, and that we were always becoming the person who could handle it. This is the beauty of divine timing. It's not something we can control, but it's something we can trust. And when the time is right, the shift will happen. When we think about transformation and the moment when everything aligns in our favor, it's easy to imagine a sudden, dramatic shift that comes out of nowhere. However, the truth is that these moments of change don't happen without warning. There is always a process leading up to these moments. And it's crucial to understand that these shifts are the result of the preparation we've undergone, sometimes without even realizing it. Every experience we go through, every challenge we face, every setback, and every small victory is part of the groundwork that is being laid for the significant shift that is about to occur. The problem is that we often don't see this preparation in real time. We get caught up in the difficulties of the present moment and forget that they are the very things that are preparing us for what's next. The change we're waiting for is not just a sudden burst of luck or opportunity. It's the result of everything that we've gone through up until this point. The key to recognizing when everything is about to change is to realize that transformation is often a gradual process. It's easy to expect things to happen quickly, but the reality is that most meaningful changes take time to unfold. Transformation isn't a single event. It's a series of events that happen over time, each one building on the previous one. This is why it's so important to remain patient during times of waiting. Every moment you spend working toward your goals, even if it feels like you're not making any progress, is actually preparing you for the next big step. It's like constructing a building. Each brick you lay may seem small on its own, but over time, those small efforts come together to create something much larger and more impactful. The key to embracing this is understanding that every small action you take, every lesson you learn, and every challenge you overcome is part of this greater design. The shift you're waiting for might not be obvious right now, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Another essential element of this process is understanding that timing plays a significant role in transformation. We often want things to happen on our timeline, but divine timing is something that operates beyond our control. It's tempting to believe that if we just work harder or push more, we can force change to happen. But the reality is that transformation doesn't happen when we demand it. It happens when the time is right. This can be frustrating, especially when we feel like we're ready for the next step. But we need to learn to trust that the universe is aligning things in its own time. The shift we're waiting for will come, but it will come when the conditions are right and when we're truly ready to receive it. Trusting in the timing of the universe means that we accept the fact that we can't control every aspect of our journey, and that's okay. It means trusting that things are unfolding exactly as they should and that we are being guided toward what's meant for us. The key to making the most of this timing is to stay prepared and open to the opportunities that arise. Often the signs that everything is about to change are subtle. They may appear as small opportunities, new connections, or moments of clarity that point us in a new direction. These signs might not feel like dramatic changes, but they are often the first steps towards something much larger. It's important to stay aware of these moments and to be ready to take action when they arise. This is where preparation becomes crucial. Transformation is not just about waiting for the right moment. It's about actively preparing for it. This means constantly working on yourself, building the skills you need, and staying focused on your goals. The more prepared you are when the moment of change comes, the more likely you are to make the most of the opportunities that arise. Finally, it's essential to recognize that transformation is not just about external changes. It's also about internal growth. As we prepare for the shift, we are not only refining our skills and knowledge, we are also becoming stronger, more resilient, and more adaptable. The internal work we do during times of waiting and preparation is just as important as the external actions we take. This internal transformation is what enables us to handle the changes that are coming with grace and confidence. The more we work on our mindset, our emotional resilience, and our ability to adapt to change, the better prepared we will be when the shift finally happens. Change is often uncomfortable, and it requires us to step out of our comfort zones. But if we've done the internal work of building self-confidence, emotional strength, and clarity, we will be ready to embrace these changes with open arms. When we trust in this process, we begin to realize that the signs we've been waiting for have been there all along. They may not have been as obvious or dramatic as we expected, but they are present. And when we learn to recognize them, we can step into the transformation with confidence. The moment of change will arrive when the time is right. And when it does, we will be ready, not just because of the external opportunities that have come our way, but because of the internal growth that has prepared us to handle this new chapter in our lives. Transformation is not just a sudden event. It's the result of everything we've been through, the lessons we've learned, and the person we've become along the way. When we trust in the process, we can embrace the moment when everything shifts in our favor with a sense of readiness and excitement. Transformation is often misunderstood as a singular moment of change, something that happens in an instant. However, real transformation is a cumulative process that unfolds over time. It's the result of countless small actions, decisions, and lessons learned. The shift you're waiting for is not something that arrives all at once, but is the product of everything you've gone through. The challenges, the efforts, the setbacks, and the perseverance. These moments of preparation are often invisible while they're happening, and we tend to overlook how much they shape us. We might feel frustrated or discouraged during these quiet moments, especially when we're putting in the effort but not seeing immediate results. But the truth is, every bit of effort you've invested is a stepping stone to the greater change that's waiting for you. The critical element in understanding this process is that the moment of change is usually the result of a gradual build-up. Transformation doesn't happen overnight, nor does it happen because of one single action. Instead, it's the culmination of the work you've been doing every day, even when it feels like nothing is moving forward. Think about a sculptor working on a piece of marble. At first glance, it might look like they're only chipping away a small amount at a time, but every chip brings them closer to the final masterpiece. Similarly, every effort you make, no matter how small it may seem, is bringing you closer to the moment when everything shifts in your favor. This is why it's so important to trust the process and understand that the results will not always be immediate. Keep working on your craft, stay focused on your goals, and remember that the transformation you're seeking is already in motion, even if it's not visible to you just yet. Another important aspect of this process is realizing that timing plays a critical role in transformation. Divine timing, or the concept that things happen at the right moment, can be difficult to grasp, especially when we're in a hurry for things to change. We live in a world where instant gratification is the norm, and we often expect things to happen when we want them to. However, the truth is that transformation takes time, and it doesn't happen when we demand it. It unfolds when we are ready for it, and when the universe, or the greater forces guiding us, decide the time is right. This doesn't mean we aren't working hard enough, or that our dreams aren't valid. It simply means that there are aspects of life that we cannot control, and learning to trust that things will unfold when the time is right is a key part of the process. The universe knows when we are truly ready to handle the opportunities that will come our way, and it will bring them to us at the right moment. While divine timing is essential, we must also remain actively prepared for the moment of change. Too often, we get so focused on waiting for the shift that we forget to prepare for it. Transformation isn't just about waiting for something to happen. It's about being ready to seize the opportunities that arise. The shift may not come as a grand, immediate change, but instead may appear as a series of small signs, opportunities, or shifts in perspective. It's critical to be aware of these smaller moments, as they are often the first indicators that the change we've been waiting for is on its way. It's easy to overlook them if we're only focused on the big picture, but the truth is that these small moments are where the real transformation begins. Whether it's a new connection, a moment of clarity, or an unexpected opportunity, these signs are the first signs that the shift is coming. By staying focused, active, and open to these moments, we position ourselves to take advantage of the opportunities when they arrive. Equally important is the internal work we must do to prepare for transformation. It's easy to focus solely on external changes, such as gaining new skills, making new connections, or acquiring new resources. However, the internal transformation is just as crucial. This is the process of becoming the person who can handle the opportunities and challenges that will come with the shift. Internal growth involves developing the mindset, resilience, and emotional intelligence required to navigate the changes that will unfold. Transformation is not just about what happens to you, it's about who you become during the process. The more we work on ourselves internally, the more we develop the strength and clarity needed to fully embrace the shift when it happens. Personal growth, therefore, must be just as intentional as the external efforts we make. As we build a stronger, more resilient mindset, we are creating the foundation for the external transformation to be sustainable and fulfilling. Lastly, recognizing that the sign that everything is about to shift often comes in unexpected ways is key to embracing transformation. We may spend so much time waiting for a grand event, a dramatic breakthrough, that we miss the smaller, subtler signs that are signaling the change. The shift may not come as a clear-cut moment of clarity, but rather as a gradual accumulation of events that, when looked at from a broader perspective, reveal that transformation is happening. These smaller shifts can be easy to overlook if we aren't paying attention, but they often carry the seeds of the bigger change that is coming. By staying open and attuned to these smaller moments, we can begin to recognize the signs that everything is aligning in our favor. When we trust that these signs are part of a greater process, we can move forward with confidence, knowing that we are on the right path and that the moment of transformation will come when the time is right. Embracing these signs, rather than waiting for something dramatic to happen, allows us to fully step into the transformation that is already in motion. When we begin to understand the idea that a significant shift in our lives is coming, it's important to realize that this shift is rarely as sudden as we may believe. The process of change is often a gradual, continuous build-up, a sequence of small steps that prepare us for a more profound transformation. Every moment we experience, whether it's a challenge or a success, is part of the foundation being laid for the change that we seek. It's easy to overlook the role of smaller experiences in our journey, especially when they feel insignificant in the moment. However, these smaller actions, setbacks, and breakthroughs are necessary for the larger change we desire. Much like the process of building a house, the transformation we go through is a step-by-step journey. The bricks that form the structure of our success may appear one at a time, each being placed with precision, but they all contribute to the final product. Often, we don't see the full value of our experiences while they're happening. We might get frustrated when things aren't moving as quickly as we expect, or when we can't see the immediate results of our hard work. However, it's important to trust the process, recognizing that even when we don't see immediate changes, our efforts are contributing to a larger, more significant shift. Transformation doesn't require us to force things to happen. It requires patience and the trust that everything we do is preparing us for what's next. This includes moments of doubt, setbacks, and failure, all of which help us refine our character, resilience, and determination. Rather than seeing these moments as roadblocks, we need to embrace them as part of the larger preparation. Every challenge we overcome makes us more ready to handle the opportunities that will come with the shift. Understanding that this change is a process also involves accepting that there is a natural rhythm and flow to life's events. When we try to force change to happen on our terms, we can end up working against the very flow that is guiding us toward our goals. Transformation happens when the time is right, not when we demand it. This can be a difficult truth to accept, especially in a society that often rewards fast results. But true, lasting change is not rushed. It comes when we are fully prepared to step into the next chapter of our lives. The key is to remain focused on the process and trust that the universe, divine timing, or whatever higher power you believe in, is working on our behalf. Even when we can't see it, we can't rush our growth, and we can't force things to unfold before we're ready. The shift will come, but it will come when we are aligned with it. During this waiting period, it's essential to stay vigilant and be ready for the signs that the transformation is approaching. These signs are often small, subtle, and easy to miss if we're not paying attention. They might come in the form of a new connection, an opportunity that seems to appear out of nowhere, or a shift in perspective that leads us to see things in a new light. These signs can be overlooked if we are too focused on waiting for the big breakthrough. However, transformation is often a collection of these smaller, more subtle changes. The opportunity for growth, for the shift to take place, can be triggered by the smallest moments. This is why it's so important to stay alert and open to these signs. By recognizing them, we give ourselves the opportunity to make the most of the changes happening in our lives, rather than missing them, because we're only looking for dramatic, life-altering events. One of the biggest challenges we face while waiting for this shift is overcoming the temptation to compare our journey with others. It's easy to look around and see others succeeding while we feel stuck, questioning why change hasn't happened for us yet. However, comparing our progress to others is a surefire way to slow down our growth. Everyone's journey is unique, and the timing of our transformation is just as individual as we are. It's important to resist the urge to measure our success against someone else's. The process we're going through is preparing us for the unique opportunities and challenges that are aligned with our path. When we compare ourselves to others, we distract ourselves from the work we need to do and the personal growth that is necessary for the transformation we desire. Trusting our own timing, our own journey, and focusing on our own growth is key to being ready when the shift happens. Along with trusting the process, we must also develop the resilience to withstand the moments of uncertainty and doubt that are inevitable during periods of transition. It's normal to feel uncertain when things aren't happening the way we expect, but resilience is about continuing to move forward, even when we can't see the finish line. Resilience allows us to navigate the inevitable challenges that come with the journey of transformation. It's not about avoiding struggle, but about how we respond to it. When we develop resilience, we are better equipped to handle the ups and downs that come with change. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Resilience is what allows us to stay focused on our ultimate goal, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's what allows us to keep going, even when the waiting feels unbearable. In the midst of all of this, it's also important to remember that transformation isn't just about external change, it's about internal growth as well. As we go through the process of transformation, we need to focus not just on the external goals we want to achieve, but also on the kind of person we want to become in the process. The shift we're waiting for is about more than just external changes. It's about becoming someone who is equipped to handle the new challenges and opportunities that will arise. Internal growth involves developing the mindset, emotional intelligence, and resilience to fully embrace the changes that are coming. When we work on becoming better versions of ourselves, we're not just preparing for a change in our circumstances, we're preparing for the change in who we are. This internal transformation is what makes external success sustainable and fulfilling. It's the key to handling the shift with grace and making the most of the opportunities when they finally arrive. Ultimately, the moment when everything shifts in our favor will come when we are ready, both externally and internally. We may not see it right now, but everything we are doing today is preparing us for that moment. It's a process that requires patience, trust, resilience, and a willingness to embrace every part of the journey. The shift may not look like what we expect, and it may come in ways we didn't anticipate, but it will come, and when it does, we'll realize that everything we've gone through has been leading us to this moment. One of the key aspects of recognizing when a shift is about to happen in our lives is understanding that transformation is rarely a sudden, unexpected event. Instead, it is usually the result of a long process of preparation. We often think of transformation as a moment of clarity, when everything suddenly makes sense or when an opportunity appears out of nowhere. In reality, the moments that lead to significant changes are built over time, often without us even realizing it. These moments of preparation may feel ordinary or insignificant as they occur, but they are essential steps toward the larger shift that is to come. Every lesson we learn, every challenge we face, and every action we take is part of a gradual process that is shaping us for the change we seek. The process might not be visible in the moment, but it's happening nonetheless. The journey is just as important as the destination, and the small steps we take along the way are laying the groundwork for the big changes to come. It's easy to get discouraged when progress seems slow or when it feels like nothing is happening. But understanding that change is a process helps us keep perspective. Transformation doesn't occur overnight. It is the result of continuous effort and growth. The mistake we often make is thinking that when things are difficult or when progress is slow, we're not moving forward at all. In truth, even when we're not seeing immediate results, we are still being prepared for something larger. These quiet moments of growth, when we're learning, adapting, and becoming more resilient, are the building blocks of the transformation we seek. They may not seem significant at the time, but they are laying the foundation for the shift that is coming. This is why patience is so crucial. It's easy to feel like we're stuck or like nothing is happening, but if we step back and reflect, we can see that every small effort we make is part of the larger picture. When we understand that transformation is a gradual process, it becomes easier to trust the timing of change. Often we feel frustrated when things don't happen on our timeline. We want results quickly, and we want our goals to be achieved faster. But transformation is not something that can be rushed. The shift we're waiting for will come when the time is right, and we must learn to trust that the universe is aligning things in its own time. This idea of divine timing can be challenging, especially when we're eager for change. But the truth is, trying to force things to happen before we're ready can backfire. The opportunities we seek will come when we are fully prepared to handle them. Sometimes we think we're ready for the next step, but the timing isn't right yet. It's during these moments of waiting that our internal growth is occurring, even if we don't realize it. We need to trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and that the right circumstances will come at the right time. Trusting in divine timing also involves letting go of the need for control. We live in a society that encourages us to plan, strategize, and control every aspect of our lives. But when it comes to transformation, we must learn to surrender to the process. The more we try to control the timing of change, the more we hinder our ability to grow and adapt. Instead, we should focus on staying open to the opportunities that arise, even if they don't come when we expect them. By releasing the need for control, we create space for the universe to work on our behalf. This doesn't mean we stop working or take a passive approach to our goals. It means we stay present, stay focused, and remain patient, knowing that everything is unfolding according to its own schedule. During periods of waiting and preparation, it's essential to recognize the subtle signs that the transformation is already beginning. These signs often don't come in the form of big, dramatic events. Instead, they appear as smaller, more subtle moments, new opportunities, shifts in perspective, or chance encounters. These signs may seem insignificant on their own, but when we look at them from a broader perspective, we see that they are part of the larger transformation that is taking place. It's easy to dismiss these small moments as inconsequential, especially when we're waiting for a big, life-changing breakthrough. However, these moments are often the first signals that the shift is coming. By staying aware and paying attention to these subtle signs, we position ourselves to take advantage of the opportunities that will lead to the transformation we seek. One of the challenges we face when waiting for transformation is the temptation to compare ourselves to others. In a world that often celebrates success and achievement, it's easy to look around and feel like everyone else is ahead of us. We see others reaching their goals while we're still in the process of preparation, and it can be disheartening. However, comparing our journey to someone else's is a dangerous trap. Each person's path is unique, and the timing of their transformation is different from ours. When we compare ourselves to others, we distract ourselves from our own journey and the progress we've made. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, we should focus on our own growth and the steps we need to take to move forward. The shift we're waiting for will come when it's our time, and comparing ourselves to others only slows us down. Resilience is another crucial element in the process of transformation. During times of waiting and uncertainty, we are bound to face moments of doubt, fear, and frustration. It's easy to give up when things aren't happening as quickly as we want, or when we don't see immediate results. But resilience is what keeps us going when the road gets tough. It's the ability to keep moving forward, even when we don't see the end in sight. Resilience allows us to face setbacks with a positive mindset and to learn from our mistakes instead of being discouraged by them. It's about understanding that failure and difficulty are not signs of defeat. They are part of the process. The more resilient we become, the more equipped we are to handle the challenges that come with the transformation. Finally, as we prepare for the shift in our lives, it's important to remember that transformation is not just about external changes, but also about internal growth. The changes we desire often require us to become a different person, someone capable of handling the opportunities and challenges that come with that transformation. This internal growth is what enables us to fully embrace the shift when it happens. It involves developing the mindset, emotional intelligence, and resilience needed to navigate the changes with confidence. As we work on ourselves, we are becoming the person who can handle the transformation when it arrives. Internal growth is just as important as external success because it ensures that the changes we experience are sustainable and fulfilling. In the end, the shift we are waiting for is the culmination of everything we have done up until this point. It may not be immediately obvious, and it may not happen exactly how we expect, but it is coming. Trusting the process, staying patient, and continuing to work on ourselves are the keys to being ready when the time comes. The transformation we seek is already in the making, and when it happens, we will realize that everything we have been through has been preparing us for this moment. Transformation is often something we long for and hope to experience in our lives. However, the journey to true change doesn't always follow a linear or predictable path. Many times, the shift we desire begins with moments of preparation that go unnoticed. It's easy to believe that transformation is something that happens all at once, in one grand, dramatic shift. But the truth is that the most profound changes are built over time, often in ways that we cannot immediately see. Every action we take, every decision we make, and every challenge we face serves to prepare us for the greater shift we are waiting for. The effort we put into growing ourselves, whether it's learning new skills, cultivating new habits, or overcoming personal obstacles, forms the foundation upon which the change we seek will emerge. While we may not see the full impact of our actions in the present moment, they are accumulating to create the perfect conditions for the transformation to happen. It's easy to become disheartened when the results of our efforts are not immediately visible. There is a tendency to believe that if we don't see instant results, we must be doing something wrong. However, the reality is that change is a slow and often imperceptible process. Transformation rarely happens in the way we expect it to. It's not always about dramatic breakthroughs, but rather about the subtle shifts that take place over time. These shifts may seem small and insignificant, but they are crucial in setting the stage for the larger change. Sometimes, it's in the moments when we feel like we're stuck or not progressing that we are actually making the most important strides. It's in these quiet moments, when we are learning the most about ourselves and our resilience, that we are building the strength to embrace the change when it finally arrives. The work we put in during these challenging times is just as important as the successes we experience, as it's what prepares us for the transformation that's coming when we're waiting for change to come. One of the hardest things to do is trust the timing of that change. We live in a world that prioritizes speed and instant results. We are conditioned to expect quick fixes and immediate gratification, which can lead to frustration when change doesn't occur as quickly as we expect. However, true transformation does not work on our timeline. It is a process that takes time, often requiring us to wait for the right moment. The concept of divine timing, or the idea that things happen when they are meant to happen, can be difficult to embrace, especially when we feel ready for change and see others moving forward. It can be frustrating to feel like we're stuck in a holding pattern, but it's essential to trust that there's a bigger plan at work. Transformation comes when we are truly ready for it, when we've developed the skills, mindset, and resilience to handle the next chapter in our lives. The waiting period is not wasted time. It is part of the process that prepares us for the change we seek. We must trust that the universe, or whatever higher power we believe in, is working behind the scenes to bring us the right opportunities at the right time. During this period of waiting and preparation, it's important to remain open to the smaller, more subtle signs that the shift is already taking place. Often, we expect transformation to come in the form of a dramatic event, something that shakes us to our core and marks the beginning of a new phase. However, the signs that a shift is coming are usually much more subtle. These signs may appear as small opportunities, changes in perspective, or encounters with people who offer valuable insights. These moments may not seem significant on their own, but when we look at them as part of a larger picture, we can see that they are part of the shift we've been waiting for. It's easy to overlook these smaller signs if we're only focused on waiting for the big breakthrough, but in reality, they are the building blocks of the larger transformation. By staying attuned to these signs, we can take advantage of the opportunities that are already presenting themselves, moving us one step closer to the change we desire. Another important aspect of preparing for transformation is the need to resist the temptation to compare ourselves to others. In a world where success is often publicly celebrated, it's easy to look around and feel like we're falling behind. We see others achieving their goals, reaching milestones, and experiencing their own transformations while we feel like we're stuck in a rut. However, comparing ourselves to others only detracts from our own journey. Everyone's path is different, and the timing of their transformation is not the same as ours. The process we're going through is unique to us, and while it may seem slow or frustrating, it is preparing us for the opportunities that will come at the right time. Instead of comparing our journey to someone else's, we should focus on our own growth and progress. Every step we take, no matter how small, is a step toward the transformation we seek. The key is to stay focused on our path, trusting that our moment will come when the time is right. As we wait for the shift to happen, resilience becomes one of the most important qualities to develop. There will inevitably be moments of doubt, fear, and frustration during this process. It's easy to feel like giving up when progress seems slow or when we encounter obstacles. However, resilience is what enables us to continue moving forward, even when we don't see immediate results. It's the ability to persist in the face of difficulty, to maintain hope even when the path ahead seems unclear. Resilience allows us to keep pushing through the challenges, learning from our mistakes, and becoming stronger in the process. Rather than seeing setbacks as signs of failure, we can view them as opportunities to grow and refine our approach. Each obstacle we face is an opportunity to build the resilience needed to handle the transformation when it finally arrives. Along with resilience, it's important to focus on internal growth as part of the transformation process. We often focus on external achievements, success in our careers, relationships, or other areas of life. But the true transformation comes from within. It's not enough to simply wait for external circumstances to change. We must also work on becoming the person we need to be to handle those changes. Internal growth involves developing the emotional intelligence, mindset, and perspective necessary to fully embrace the transformation. This means letting go of old patterns of thinking that no longer serve us and replacing them with new, more empowering beliefs. The shift we are waiting for is not just about what happens to us, it's about who we become in the process. As we work on ourselves, we are preparing to step into the new opportunities and challenges that will arise when the transformation happens. Finally, it's important to understand that the shift we are waiting for may not look exactly the way we expect it to. We often have a specific vision of what transformation will look like, and we may get discouraged if it doesn't align with that vision. However, transformation often comes in unexpected forms. The opportunities that arise may not look like what we imagined, and the changes that happen may take us down a path we hadn't anticipated. Instead of resisting these changes, we should embrace them. The unexpected nature of transformation is what makes it so powerful. It forces us to grow in ways we didn't expect and teaches us to be open to new possibilities. By staying open-minded and adaptable, we allow ourselves to fully experience the shift when it arrives. Ultimately, the transformation we are waiting for is already in motion, even if we can't see it yet. The work we are doing today, the lessons we are learning, and the resilience we are building are all preparing us for the change we seek. By trusting the process, remaining patient, and staying open to the signs, we position ourselves to embrace the transformation when it finally arrives. It may not happen on our timeline, and it may not look like what we expected, but it will come when we are truly ready for it.